Choose English Language Learners by Emma Kohala. What is an English language learner? According to the Glossary of Education Reform, English language learners, or ELLs, are students who are unable to communicate fluently or learn effectively in English, who often come from non-English speaking homes and backgrounds, and who typically require specialized or modified instruction in both the English language and in their academic courses. Similar titles to English language learners are English learners, limited English proficiency, bilingual, or emerging bilingual. There are many different ways to classify these students because no one student's ability is the same, so there are specific titles that can categorize students' ability and levels of language learning. 70% of the nation's English language learners attend just 10% of the nation's schools. This is because these schools are found in urban areas where the minority community is higher and their socioeconomic levels are lower. This diminishes students' opportunities to grow in their speaking skills because these schools are made up of the students just like themselves, so they lack the role model English-speaking peers or teachers. Every state has their own system to test students, but it usually starts with the screener or pre-assessment placements test. 27 out of the 50 states use screener tests to give initial assessments of students' language. The WIDA screener is a commonly used screener. Students will also take a short survey about their home language. The use of an HLS is to identify linguistic minority students originated with the remedies implemented in 1975 after the Supreme Court decision in the Lau versus Nichols discrimination case. This is an example of a WIDA screener example. Questions. Where to go after the student is identified as an English language learner? Most students who are identified as English language learners will begin an individualized education plan, also known as an IEP. This will identify modifications or accommodations. This will also list goals for the students. This will also become a running record of the student's work, differentiation that is given, and future plans for the student's success for school. How to make modifications for an English language learner. You can provide a word bank. You can simplify the word choice. You can allow students to draw pictures to demonstrate knowledge. Assignments can be provided in a native language. Shortened assignments with specific objectives being identified and focused on. Modified goals and objective for instruction. How to make accommodations for English language learners. Extra time for work, frequent breaks, use of pictures, simple language, the use of dictation or speak to type, edited copies of worksheets that include underline important words, emphasis on vocabulary or directions, more spaces between questions, and larger blanks. These are examples of differentiated work. In the first picture, you have a test that is differentiated with selected options, as well as in the second and third. What not to do with English language learners. You should never ban students from using their native language in the classroom. You should never rely on the textbook as the only visual aid for these students. Raising your voice when a student is not understanding. Being louder does not equal clearer. You should never stick them on a computer to do all their work. Modify their work so that they are part of and interacting with the majority of the class. This is how ELL students learn best. Role model peers speaking English. What to do with your English language learners. Give them more than just verbal cues or instructions. Provide ample time for response. Repeat instruction in the same tone and inflection. Frequent checks to make sure students are understanding. Model for the student what is expected and tasks that you are asking them to complete.